I have a great honor to bring on a young lady who is a business professional and under a high level of stress. So if that's you, I would ask you to tune in and lean in. And she's been so gracious to take her time out to just speak to me briefly. Her name is Ariana, and I want to have her to bring her forth just to ask a few questions really about what's going on her as being a high level professional. What is she going through on being this high level, how she's feeling it, what she's doing for herself to support herself right now. So I will support, help me welcome Ariana. Thank you so much.
Yes,
thanks
absolutely.
for coming forth. So you said that you are a recruiter for...
So I'm a global talent acquisition strategist.
Okay.
I partner with businesses to help them to fill niche roles in their organizations, but my specialty is law.
Specialty is law.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe you said the conversation you've been doing around 12 years combined?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's working out for you.
Yes, I enjoy it very much. So that, I think it works out because I enjoy it.
Okay, good. Good for you. And so with that ownership as well as, working for someone else, that balance, I'm just going to ask you, what kind of stress that you find yourself being under, and what does it feel like and what does it look like?
Yeah, it's hard to tell, right, when you are accustomed to a certain level of fight or flight.
Okay.
It's hard to understand until you slow down.
Okay.
So I know the levels of stress I'm under because I take a lot of moments for stillness. So I would say when you ask what does it feel like, it feels like simply being frequently with myself, with my source, which is God, checking in with my higher self so that I'm not responding emotionally or mentally or logically with my lower self, which is normally from a place of fear. I try to do that frequently because the pressure of me being successful is so high. And I can't do it frantically. I have to do it through calm. I have to do it through the truths that I I was called for a reason to be here.
Right.
So I have to access in order to get the fuel that I need.
So, what is that like for a person that's chiming in right now? When you say you take pauses, you do this often. Do you find that when you find to be anxious, do you take a time out, in my language, or what do you do? What's your process?
How would I know? Slowness of breath. If I'm experiencing some restriction with my vocal cords, like I am right now, this is just a stressful day today, so my vocal cords are not as open and expanded as they usually are. There's a lot of bodily indicators that if one is paying attention, they'll notice. It could be overwatering of the eyes. It could be all of a sudden sinus-like fillings or fluid or what have you. Agitation, not the ability to think a full thought through. So sometimes I'll write a sentence, a super simple sentence like a mantra,
right.
And if I can't naturally flow through it and feel it, then I know that I've reached a boulder of sorts.
Wow.
So I think as a gift to myself for giving so much to something that the payoff in reality is so little. Although it's grand in the world, it's very little in reality because it's my time.
Right.
That a gift to myself really is accessing myself and feeling good about it.
Wow. When did you come to the awareness that you had to, or really stop and acknowledge your feelings? Was there a time when you hit a point that you said, look, I need to stop this? Were you feeling something in your body? Were you having some behavior that you said you have to stop?
Yeah, so ironically, I was running a mindfulness-based practice, and it was called The Peace Place.
Wow.
So it was a place where myself and our practitioners, we would help people to get back to or learn of their peace place, that place inside that resides where you have that access to yourself, and all is well and all is calm, and you know it and you feel it, and it really starts to relieve you in that moment instantly of a lot of the physiological effects of stress. For me, I was running that practice, but was experiencing burnout. I heard of burnout. We say, I can't, or, I'm going to die. Like, we say these phrases,
right.
But they're not real. We're not dying. We're not starving. burnout was just something that I thought was professional buzzwords. You know, I'm gonna get burned out. You know, I don't have the capacity. No, it's a real thing. It's a real, call it medical or psychological thing, but you cannot like move forward. There's no will, there's no ability, the capacity is gone. It is a drought. It's done. You're burnt. And it could stay that way for a day or two. It could stay that way for months. It could stay that way for years. I couldn't be in burnout because I was running a very, very, very impactful business to the community, but also I had a lot of responsibilities. So I could not be on burnout. It was my vision that I didn't delegate and create team around. It was something that I was like, I've got this with my superwoman complex. And because I had it when I was burnt out, nobody else had it. So I had to find it, which then comes from unnatural places, right? Right. So once I experienced burnout, I was forced by a very, very good friend to stop everything. Fortunately, that friend had a very, very high business acumen, so he stepped in and he said, you're not allowed to come into the office, leave your laptop. I'm sending you to this retreat. You're gonna just sit there. And I stayed at the Mountain Shadow Resorts in Scottsdale for quite a while. As an entrepreneur, 3 weeks felt like I stayed there for a year. But they had so many mindful things and good food and nature was there that I realized that I was relying on my own strength, and only with God are all things possible. So I was on borrowed strength, borrowed time, borrowed energy. It wasn't enough, and so I depleted myself. After that, fortunately, and thank God, I was able to come back after taking an exodus when I closed my business. And I realized I don't have to drown myself out or drought myself out in order to accomplish really powerful things. I can rely on spirit, and I can use my best human effort. And blending those things together gave me balance. So now I find people ask me, what do you like to do for fun? I like to meditate. I like to be still. I like to be by myself in quietness. I like community. I love being in a relationship, but those things bring me joy because I'm able to activate a peace that is undisturbed and unapologetically.
So you've hit that point. You know what that feels like. And I know a lot of people listening. I know a lot of women that are hearing you right now. They're kind of still like waking up, don't feel like going to doing what they're supposed to do, and still quietly not putting themselves first. What can you say to those women?
It all starts with a self-awareness that lends yourself to a reality that you're brave enough and courageous enough to accept of where you are versus where you think you are and where you want to be. And then from there, covering it with love and grace and just living a life of self-love. And acknowledging your limitations, acknowledging, that you're not going to get there in 5 seconds, but self-love is really the fuel that starts to prompt that movement. It's the reason why if we're in a street and a car's coming, we run out of the way. Some would say it's fear, but really it's self-love. You don't want to get hurt. We protect ourselves when we fall. It's second nature. We love ourselves. Right. So once we can see the mirage that we've created in our head of our abilities and our conquerings and our strength and our physique even, like we try to ignore the cellulite that's there from being stagnant, but it's there. In the right mirror. It's there. It's looking in that mirror with courage and that light at Forever 21 and saying, I am not 21 and this is really happening. Okay, I'm going to get to moving because I'm not because I pummel myself, but because I love myself enough to say, you really are bad. Like you're bad. Right. So like be bad. Right. But it's not what's the word? Being self-indulged or anything like that. It's just purely self-love and ignoring a lot of the rhetoric from society. If it's not rhetoric that comes from our natural state of being, how we were designed to be as women, then it's just distraction and darkness trying to get us away from ourselves and try to make us feel like we should love the things that are killing us.
Wow. That's very powerful. I don't know if you all are hearing this, but the idea that, I grew up in family business, and so I know what a driven woman looks like that is determined to set the tone to I can do it, that I'm capable, that I have to do this. I got kids, they're relying on me. But what I've learned from her over the years, that how much pain that she took, how much she endured without really giving it a lot of attention. And I'll just share a quick one with you real quick, Ariana, is that there was one time, I didn't know it, but she went to the doctor, to the foot doctor. And the foot doctor said, "You broke your toe." And she said, "I did." Well, she had been dealing with that pain for so long, she never went to the foot doctor. Still opening up the business, still doing what she got to do. I didn't even know it. She never expressed pain. And I thank you for coming forth, because there's too many women, and I know that because we're driven, because we have so much talent and so much flexibility, that we can endure all. But what I'm seeing as it relates to a lot of women, and seeing it in my mom, that they quietly don't say anything. They think it's okay that they get a trophy for seeing how much that they can take on, how much that they can take on, because they can prove themselves that they are able, but not at the price, like you said, of your health. So had you not had that intervention of someone to say, you know what, I'm going to pull this computer from you, we're going to take you to a place so you can be yourself. Had that not been that person that pulled you, where would you think you would have been at? Where would you think the other side of that would have went to?
You know, for some, it could be a collapse of a business, and I could say that. I could say the protective answer, but honestly, I was headed towards, I have children that I adore so much. I have a family that I adore. I love the life that God has blessed me with in my community, but it was too much for me, and it felt like I can't. So I was ready to just say, I'm good. I'm good. And I had made it kind of gave me relief once I got to the point where that is what comforted me, to know just a little while longer, and I don't have to walk into that next year, December 31st at midnight. I'm good. I'm done. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but somehow, some way, I'll figure it out. And that gave me peace. It almost gave me like an extra strength, because I was like, I'm gonna finish this out with a bang. And then I had a friend of mine who just referred me right back to scripture, and she was like, it's too much for you, for all of us who are trying to do this on our own. It's like watching a child trying to lift a car. It's too much, and we're given a power beyond what is normal. So you have to activate that power. And I had just forgotten. And so with that, I feel like my friend's intervention, I feel like it was all God's intervention, really.
Wow.
To just help me, to save and spare me, but really to give me hope to where the life that I live now is one of unapologetic peace, joy, gratitude, grace to myself. But I give all glory to God for all of the successes.
Wow. Well, I just want to say thank you for coming on. Like I said, I decided to really be more boisterous on this topic, because I didn't realize how many women that are taking on so much emotional load, stress loads in corporate or business, and their health is starting to decline.
Right.
And I just said, you know what, Marilyn, you need to speak up more. You saw it in your family, and I'm grateful. I got to see that personally, but I have the skill set, mindset to support people just like yourself. Yeah. So I want to just say hats off to you.
Thank you.
I thank you for coming forth. I know that